Welcome to the Midlife Pilot podcast. We are glad you're with us. What is it like to become a pilot in your 40s and 50s? The challenges are unique for those of us in midlife, but so are the rewards. Hosts Ben, Brian, and Ted talk learning to fly, growing as pilots, and the joy of flying to destinations. The purpose of the podcast is not to teach, but to share knowledge and experiences of being a midlife pilot. Join the Midlife Pilot community and listen in every week. We are not CFIs or particularly intelligent, so if you want to learn how to fly, talk to anyone else other than the hosts of a podcast. Even this intro was too challenging for us, and we used a robot to do it. Okay, checklists are complete. Let's get the show started.
Welcome to the Midlife Pilot podcast, where we share the experiences and challenges of flying in midlife. Whether you're a seasoned pilot, training for a rating, or just thinking about getting started in aviation, we like to think of the podcast as your aviation companion and your weekly dose of aviation inspiration. My name is Ben. I am a commercially certificated pilot based here in the Atlanta metro area. I do have an IFR rating in which I am looking for some approaches. We'll talk about that more in a minute. I fly a Cessna 182 called the Beast. Joining me tonight from the heart of Music Road, the home of the Bachelorette Super Charlie, it's our friend Brian. He flies a Cherokee 180 named Lucy. And guess what? He was actually flying. We'll hear more about that. How you doing, Brian?
I'm doing great. I'm much better now. Thank you. I'm glad
you could there's a glow about you. I can tell that you've been flying.
Back to myself.
Yeah. Also joining us tonight from the left coast, Portlandia, flying a flight designed CTLS. We like to call the egg. It's our friend, sport pilot extraordinaire, Ted. How you doing, Ted?
Hey, I'm doing really well. I was just thinking, in the winter when we were doing this, it gets dark here around 5. And so it's completely dark outside when we start recording. Yeah. And now, I've got a couple hours left of light. So it's like the background behind me completely changes as we record this podcast as the year goes on. So
as the seasons roll by.
And this is great content for audio. We have to just think about darkness and lightness. That's all you can do. So
tonight we have another special guest. It's our friend Erica from Aerosafe and Gilbert Aviation. She's our weather genius, CFII. She flies a TBM. And guess what? She has a keyboard that you just heard.
So sorry to blow the intro, but thank you for having me either way.
Listen, go back to episode 40 if you want to hear a blown intro. My intro into the podcast, that's really doing it right. So glad to have you. We're glad you're with us.
Thank you. I thought you were freaking out, and Brian was like, "What's up with the icing on the vegetables?" I didn't realize that. I was deafening everyone, so apologies.
It's fine. We are not professionals.
Yeah. Nor do we play one on TV.
Yeah.
So getting into it tonight, it's just another chat about information whiskey episode. Got a lot of people in the chat. Looks like we have Lima Tango, aka Ted's mom, is with us. Hello. Anybody been doing any flying? First, I guess, Brian.
Yeah.
I am very happy to see that 5116 Lima is back up in the air.
I feel lucky. There are others in our fine community that also had the bright idea of getting their annuals done in the early weeks of March so as to be absolutely sure to have the annual done in time for the event. In my case, we barely made it, but there are others, our friend Keith and definitely some others that haven't been so lucky and are waiting on parts or various things. And so for anybody that's listening that has a romantic idea about airplane ownership, let it be known that it just gets you, the best situation just kind of gets you to a 50-50 shot. And then you've still got the weather and everything else. So super happy to be back. And, it was an interesting experience for me because I think it was 42 days of no flying, which for some is not that big of a deal. For me, it seemed like forever. And I was definitely curious about how I would do. And it was great. Everything was just totally fine. And I was actually talking to our friend Erica about this on this thing called the phone. I think it was yesterday. I think it was. And she, Erica, you made the point that there's a point where after you've been flying enough to where your muscle memory is actually deep enough to where the recall is there, unlike the other extreme, which we've all experienced when you train. And if you don't fly for 2 days, it's like you've forgotten everything that you ever have learned. So it was super exciting to go around and fly and do things. I definitely did a lot of landings, and all of that went really well. And I did a little run to Coleman, Alabama, go down to Charlie Mike Delta and go to the diner there. I highly recommend it to anybody in that area. And that was really awesome. Although it makes me nervous landing where there's a lot of skydive activity, but you just kind of go, okay, well, I'm going now. But anyway, it's just been incredible. All the landings were great. Everything was great. One funny experience I had was when I was coming into Coleman, there was one other plane in the pattern. It was an air tractor. And so I was coming in about maybe a couple miles out, and they were already on the downwind, and I was descending still a little bit, maybe another 800 feet or so. And I just could not spot. You would think an air tractor, I'd be able to see it, but I could not spot it. And the young woman who was flying this air tractor, I said my position, and I told her that I had, didn't have her in sight, but I have her on ADS-B, and I'm looking, and she goes, "Oh, okay, well, I'll put out a little smoke for you." She put a little smoke, and I was like, "Oh, there she is." Yeah. And I just thought, so I ran into her in the FBO afterwards, and I was like, "Is that you flying the air tractor?" She goes, and this is as midlife as it gets. She goes, "Well, yes, sir, it was. Yes, sir." I'm like, "Oh, I'm getting sir just right away." There's no sir, just happens now. But I was like, "Well, that's a pretty special party trick." She's like, "Yeah, I would do that all the time. I would be all smoke, especially in some of these busier patterns." But anyway.
Trent Palmer has smoke on his backcountry plane, both his previous one and his current Legend that he's.
Well, that makes sense because you gotta know what the wind is. So
and it's great for finding people, and it's hooked up. So the same button that does that does a horn. So it's a great combination of air horn and smoke.
Yeah,
so,
and to answer One Dog Geek's question, he's saying, "Isn't an air tractor the airplane that they use for crop dusting?" Yes,
that is definitely it.
Anyway, it's just been a lot of really cool, fun interactions. Another one that happened was back here at John Toon. Our friend Adam was flying. I was coming in and he was holding short. It's always funny when you run into your friends and they're holding short and watching, you come in or whatever. And he actually sent me some cool shots or whatever of me coming in. Then he joined the pattern behind me. And then when I came in on final, I announced I was confirming I was clear to land. And I told Tower that I was maintaining max forward speed, unprompted, and they chuckled. So, it's been a little just fun. All that little stuff, right? That's the stuff that I love the most about it. Just all the little human interactions and all the little, oh, that's curious or that's funny or whatever. And I did a tower tour.
Oh yeah, I want to hear. That was pretty cool, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was. Quick story. I'll just. We didn't have information whiskey, man. So all right, I'll just knock this out. So the day before I was talking about, I wanted to go do some pattern work. I'm just trying to fly. And I've got the plane down here at John Toon right now. So it's really close to my house. So I can just kind of run up there, see if it's good. The ceilings were, I thought, to be about 2,500. Everything was, it was one of those days where it's like the weather, every weather says, oh, it's 10 miles and clear. And it's like, no, it's not. But I don't know what that actually is. Erica, you can explain this to us later, why the weather lies. But anyway, so I go up there and I'm like eyeballing and I'm thinking that's still like my pattern minimums. That's all I'm trying to do is just be in the pattern. I'm not trying to, whatever. And I call up ground and I just said, just want to close traffic, please, and the woman, the controller, she says, the ceilings are 1,500, which is the pattern altitude. She goes, ceilings are 1,500, say intentions. And I just thought, there's a lot of things I could say right now, and I'm not going to say any of those things. I just said, oh, well, okay, I'll just hang loose then. She goes, alrighty. So,
do you think that was her implying you could ask for a special?
No, absolutely not. And so here, in fact, I shut down because I just wasn't going to, I didn't need to fly, whatever. I just thought maybe I can pull this off. It's not a big deal. Got back out and I thought, well, it sure is slow around here because of these 1,500 foot ceilings or whatever. I should go do a tower tour. So I just called them up and went right over there, and it was fantastic. And I asked her, I said, so I'm the guy that I was like, you just told that you should not be flying, and in so many terms. And I asked her, I said, you said say intentions. What are the things that I could have possibly said? She's like, there's nothing that you could have said. I just would have said pattern's closed. I'm like, well, why didn't you just say that?
So I would have said, well, my intentions are to eventually get a multi-rating and then maybe an ATP course. And then I'd like to get a job down the road flying airplanes.
Yeah, I just want to be a better person.
Yeah.
You know? So anyway.
Call my dad more often.
I had a fantastic experience. It's a contract tower. It's a no radar tower. So there's a lot of interesting little challenges they have there. I got to see and talk to, I just hung out there for about an hour and just hung out. It was so slow. It was great. And all of the controllers are so nice and so funny and hilarious. And the day before I had done some pattern work and done some short approaches, and I had teased the controller, when I was taxiing off, because I was the only person in the pattern and I was doing these insane short approaches and just greasing all these landings. I was having like Super Bowl moments in my head. I kept waiting for the tower to be like, I know it. I'm the only thing going on here. Please just acknowledge me. And I taxied off when I was done. And I said, what does it take to get a nice landing from you guys? Or, like, what are you going to do? And he laughed. And he's like, oh man, that was good. Those short approaches were pretty crazy or whatever. But I was like, all right. So I saw the same guy in the tower for the first time face to face the next day. He's like, you're 5116 Lima. Oh, yeah. He's like, man, the way you do these short approaches, he's like, I love it, man. Like, I want to go flying with you and all this stuff. So it was just a fun experience. And then when I flew again, the next time he was working, he was just like, nice landing,
Nice. So, the obligatory nice landing.
Yeah. It was just, I can't tell you how great they were, how nice it was. Just how much I learned. There's all those little wrinkles. It doesn't matter. Every location has its own unique things. And so it was just fantastic. So yes, I've been flying a lot, did some tower tours, a lot of short approaches, went to get some food, did a bunch of things. And now I'm going to go do my night currency after I get out of here.
So I just have one question for you. How happy is Katie now that you've now gone up in the air and you've exercised those patience demons?
Yeah. Well, I mean, she's moved all her stuff back in the house. It's a good sign.
Yeah.
It's hard. I mean, and this is something that every midlife pilot can relate to. I've definitely talked to several lately where it's like when you can't fly, it is, it's a bummer and it's frustrating and it can spill out into other areas of your life. I don't know if there's anything, Erica, in the FOI for this, but there's some sort of depression that comes from not flying that you have to deal with. But anyway, so that's my spiel.
I want to hear, Ted, have you gone up last week?
I went up for a little flight, I guess last Friday, and couldn't get to the airport I wanted to. So I ended up just going up and kind of, putzing around a little bit, and heard a weird thing when I was coming back in. I'd seen there was a jet down there before I'd taken off. And when I was coming back in, it was obviously that jet based on some call sign that I didn't recognize. And the tower guy was talking to him, and they're trying to get their plans for their flight and that kind of stuff. And is there a delay there? I don't know, that kind of stuff. And he's like, hey, whose truck is that? He asked basically who are your passengers? And they're like, just business people. Like, well, whose truck is that? There was a 60s Chevy on the ramp that I saw later. And he's like, I really liked that. I've got a 4-inch lift on mine, and it's like, it was directly across the runway from the tower. So he had like a great view to see these guys with this plane and this classic truck. And they've got like a Steadicam outfit they're filming the truck with. So who knows what was going on, but just those like random experiences you wouldn't see otherwise.
No, that's cool.
Country music video.
Yeah. And then went out Sunday because when I leave to go to Texas, I'll be taking an Uber to the airport. And so I have to really plan ahead to get the plane packed before, like one trip out to the airport before I go. So I've made these big lists and I've tried to get everything packed, and I weighed all my stuff, which is unusual for me to do. And got the plane mostly packed when I was out there on Sunday. And then Midlife Pilot Patreon member Jess from Tacoma was down. And so he came out, and he and his partner came out and saw the plane, and we sat there and chatted and bored her to death. And then I met them at the restaurant for dinner that evening and yesterday. So we had a great time chatting and comparing notes and just nerding out about stuff. So didn't fly yesterday, but spent a bunch of time getting the plane completely prepped and ready to go. So,
nice. I believe Miss Gilbert posted on our Discord server. She took a flight in the TBM. My feelings were just a little bit hurt. You didn't see me waving at you from 25,000 feet, but we'll let this one slide. Any excitement going on with your flying in the last week?
Yeah. So, like you said, flew home from Florida today, right over your neck of the woods.
Mm-hmm. And your former neck of the woods, if I remember correctly.
Yes, exactly. And I don't think you saw me waving either, Ben. So my feelings are equally.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Outside of that, been doing some instruction, and I've been working on some transition training into Cirrus for myself and for some clients. So that's exciting. I go to Cirrus Standardized Instructor Pilot training next week, and I'm really stoked about that.
Is that going to be in Knoxville?
Yes.
Yeah. CSIP, is that what they call that?
Yep, yeah. CSIP.
That's awesome.
Nice. Very nice.
Exciting.
It's Brian's favorite plane. We all know that.
Yeah.
The TBM?
No, it's Cirrus.
No, the Cirrus.
I have no problem with the Cirrus guys.
Yeah. I like it.
We know. It's your favorite.
I'm totally Cirrus.
They've got all the tech that I like. And so in that way, they're kind of not Brian's favorite.
Yeah. They're great airplanes. Super safe. Lots of technology. They go fast.
No ashtrays.
This is true. Yeah.
He's not wrong.
I'll tell the sales guy that they need to put an ashtray in the next model.
Maybe that's an option that you can get when you order one.
Like with a humidor?
Right. I didn't do actually flying myself, but I did go up. And I got to tell you, I forgot how much fun it is to be a passenger in a general aviation airplane. I haven't done that in a while. So I went up with our friend, Lord Alpha Juliet. He had a mission to bounce around the central part of the state. He made a comment earlier about if I gotten over my jealousy of his approaches. I'm getting close to needing to get some instrument approaches in. And we thought the ceilings were going to lift, but we did file to go to two of the airports, and he actually was able to log both of them. And so he really likes to rub that stuff in my face. He I would get in the plane. I said, can I do something? He's like, nope. I said, can I work the radios? Nope. Can I do this? Nope. Can I do that? Nope. So I just pulled my phone out and looked out the window and took pictures.
So you're basically like an angel flight passenger.
That's exactly
You're just like, I'm just going to fall asleep in here. And,
I kind of felt like a special needs angel flight passenger is what I would
think
say.
You sounded more like a flight instructor.
Yeah.
I did notice that you called yourself a passenger, not a co-pilot.
That's right. I did come. Well, that's how I felt.
You're
like
not an FO treated around right. AJ. Yeah.
He might need a ride from me tomorrow, so I'll make sure I reciprocate. I don't think I'll be able to shoot an approach, but
Yeah.
Erica, do you think there's a market for passenger princess training?
That's actually what I call myself. I am a passenger princess. At least that's my goal, is to become passenger princess, so I don't have to do anything.
Good luck with that. You are too driven and knowledgeable to just hang loose, right?
Yeah.
You know what? I don't hold opinions to myself very easily. If it were me, I'd be about 10 knots slower right now.
Yeah. Do you just judge what's going on in the left seat just constantly as a habit because you're paid to do that?
I mean, essentially, yeah. But it's not so much judgment. It's trying to perceive what they're doing and thinking and where that's going to lead to. Like, what they're doing right now, is this going to put us in a bad spot? And that's when I try and say something. If not, I try not to say.
Yeah, but it seems like half the problem is that it's not what I see you're doing is going to end up poorly. This is going to end up poorly, and I need to wait as long as possible to make this a learning opportunity without killing us.
Right.
And that instinct of biting your tongue and not grabbing the controls, the first moment you know things are going poorly, seems to be something that would be more difficult.
Yeah, it all seems like it's all altruistic and all this, but then you see CFIs when they do the unusual attitudes. You see the thrill that washes over a CFI every time that you get to do unusual attitudes on somebody. You're like, I'm gonna get this guy. I mean, you guys love it. It's sick, man. It's sick.
I don't do unusual attitudes in the way a lot of people do it, where the instructor takes the controls and just like honks you around and tries to. I don't do it that way. I let the student put themselves in the unusual attitude by closing their eyes, chin to chest, left ear on the left shoulder, and then just hold the fight straight and level. And inevitably, 30 seconds later, we're in an unusual attitude.
I thought you were going to say like, I have like this sort of Houdini kind of approach where they're shackled and then they have to choose, because their feet are grouped together. They have to choose which rudder to use because they cannot press both of them. And
so what would that simulate? They all of a sudden have fused legs while they're in the air.
Now, I do have a question for you. Do you ever get to go fly? Are you able to flip that switch off and not be constantly evaluating what the pilot next to you is doing?
there's no way you can turn it off. I'm answering this for her. She cannot.
I want to hear from her.
Yeah, probably not. I guess unless it's like a really, really experienced pilot that I'm flying with. But the only time I've done that, I've been basically a student. So I don't.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, you never really turn it off.
I got you.
Like when you guys fly with other people, you're kind of watching what they're doing and maybe not judging, but like, taking in the information and thinking about how you do it differently.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Do it.
Well, let's get the housekeeping done real quick.
Yeah, let's do it.
How about that? Erica, we should have you read it, but you can't see it. So I'll just do it. All right. Belly scrub time. We are grateful for you all making this the best pilot community that we know of, a positive space where we share everything from training experiences, share personal minimums, tackle ownership challenges, review flight plans, and best of all, make new aviation friends. Connect with us. Join our Patreon community from $1 a month or do one-time annual Patreon. It's 25 cents per episode. Come on. Access exclusive content, including check ride debriefs, killing zone conversations, and more with the Discord. 10% supports Freedom Aviation Network's anti-human trafficking efforts. Watch us live on YouTube, Mondays, 8 p.m. Eastern. Share your stories, midlifepilotpodcast@gmail.com. For everything Midlife Pilot Podcast, community feedback, merch, and more, visit midlifepilotpodcast.com. And Ted, you are going to tell us about what's been happening in the world of Patreon.
Yeah, we have some new supporters this week. At the Landomatic level, we have Jonathan A. At the Hershey Bar level, we have William N. and Brian J. So I'd like to thank them for joining us. Yeah.
I saw a Landomatic today.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I love those.
Yeah. Got a couple of achievements in the Discord this week. Zeb had his first actual IMC time as a solo instrument pilot.
Yeah.
Again, as an instrument pilot.
Yeah.
We're not gonna call out someone and say, "Hey, we've got a student pilot and they had IMC solo." It's like, no, we're fair. Zach completed their tailwheel endorsement. Flint, as we know, passed his private pilot check ride, and we did a great debrief on that.
Yeah.
And then Mike Echo and Dev Cannon both got their instrument ratings this week.
Yeah, a lot of accomplishments this week. Congratulations to everybody.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
that's awesome. So, hey, do we have an event coming up?
What?
We do have an event coming up. We're going to talk about that.
Is this the time where we've mentioned that we took one look at the weather and decided let's just push it back like a week?
Yeah. Let's just do it in the middle of the week because we'd probably get a lot more people come to that. I do want to get this comment real quick before we talk about the big send. Does Erica fly from right seat when she is flying by herself?
Yeah.
The only plane I fly in the left seat in is the TVM. And there may be another exception. There's a couple other airplanes. The POH says the PIC has to sit in the left seat. So
you by default fly right seat
yeah.
when you're in a trainer. Interesting.
Right. My sight picture is all messed up. I can't land in the left seat.
So would that would be kind of fun to fly with you, say, Erica, in a Cherokee or something. And I'm not sure I've ever landed right seat, and then you can't land left seat. Let's just put us like you get in the left seat, I'll get in the right seat, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
You could do it enough to save my bad landing.
Yeah, probably.
So I would just recommend a 200-foot wide runway, and then it should be no problem whatsoever.
I don't know. My experience when I first went on 150-foot plus runways, training on like a 36-foot was like, I didn't know where the ground was. I was flaring like 30 feet up. So wider isn't necessarily better. Same is true actually landing on the beach, where it's as wide as it is long, basically. There's nothing to get your sight picture on. So
that's a good point. Yeah, when I did that tailwheel stuff outside of Las Vegas on the dry lake bed.
Oh yeah,
it was funky.
Yeah. It's like, well, I'm gonna get close to landing, and eventually I'm gonna touch. So, and the problem with landing on sand is that you see exactly how much of a bounce you had, because the sand shows it perfectly, and you may have stayed on the ground the whole time, but just the displacement of the tire difference really shows it.
So you got out and looked at the sand after you landed?
Of course. Yeah.
Of course.
He still goes back and visits those same divots on Google Earth even years later.
You know how parents do plaster of their kids' footprints, Yeah.
Luke has a question here. He says, for Erica, how long do you think it took for a right seat to become dominant?
That's a good question. Probably a couple hundred hours, 200-300 hours or so.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot more than I thought.
How long before you were roughly proficient at it?
So I'm just going to talk from the landing perspective, because the maneuvers aren't really different. Probably 4 hours, 5 hours, 3 to 5 hours, somewhere in there.
That makes sense. That's what I would have guessed. It's not that you're great at it, but that you're confident enough to go alone or to have a student.
So let me ask you this, Erica. If somebody is interested in learning how to land in the right seat of, say, their own airplane or whatever, or what's the best way to do that?
Yeah, with an instructor. Give me a phone call.
Don't just get in the right seat of your own plane and just see how it works out.
No. Definitely not. It's the sight picture. It makes a huge difference. In fact, one of the guys who's got his Cirrus, the one I'm going to be taking to CSIP school, he wanted to fly in the right seat because he'd never done it before in his airplane. So he's in the right seat. I'm in the left seat. And he's like excited. I'm a little nervous because I'm like, I got to land this thing eventually because I know he's not going to be able to do it. And it was funny because while we were landing, he was like, yeah, that looked totally different. That is not how I would have set the airplane up. So it takes a while.
Interesting.
Let me hit Luke's comment here. I'm with Luke. I'm still waiting for left seat to become dominant. Yes. It's like first you need to be able to land, and then you choose what seat you land in. Yeah. As I've said on the pod, I was well past 100 hours before I figured out how to land the egg properly. So, and it took an instructor sitting right seat to figure out what I was doing wrong. And,
what were you doing wrong?
My speeds just weren't great on it. And also just getting used to shoving the stick forward enough and getting used to that side picture. They're kind of famously a little difficult to land, although I don't know, I've been in enough now that it's like whatever, but it comes and goes, it seems, my feelings on it. So
when you say stick forward, do you mean just you were tentative towards the runway, so you were not doing a proper descent path?
Yeah, I mean, with a slow enough stall speed, you can basically just continue pulling back on it until you get a descent, or you can push forward enough until you get a descent, right? Either one will result in the same descent rate.
So
it's
just mushing it down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
okay.
Yeah.
Well, If this is the first time you're listening to this podcast, this will probably be news to you. But for everybody else, you should have heard about this now, but we have a big event next weekend. It's the Big Texas Send.
This weekend.
This coming weekend. What did I say? Next weekend?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. May 2nd through the 4th. Let's just get really specific about it. Yeah. We've been looking at the weather for a couple of days now. Right now, it's going to be interesting. This is springtime, summertime. You'll get some pop-up showers. It may hit the airport. It may not. The forecast is saying isolated on Saturday, scattered on Friday. So I have a flying mentor that always run things by him when I was training, and he said, if you're in the summer and you need to get anywhere, you need to land by noon. And that's a good way to avoid those pop-up thunderstorms. So keep that in mind, folks, if you're coming out to visit us. The three of us, plus a few others, are going to come out on Thursday, and then we're going to be hanging around the airport Friday morning. One of us will probably be around for most of the day around the hotel or the FBO. I want you to come in and check in with us. We've got some handouts, some little stuff to have for you. And then go ahead, Brian, you're about to say something.
How can you tell, Ben? How can you tell?
Because I could see you. And
Erica, I just wanted to ask you a question. You see this Brady Bunch lineup we have here on the screen? You see these guys and me? Scenario. You are it. You are where you are in Central Kentucky, and let's just say that one of us has to come and pick you up and take you to this event.
Oh man, you're totally gonna put her on the spot.
Which person do you want? The sport pilot with the egg, but it does have a parachute and glass panel, and I think he's got a cappuccino machine in there.
Yes.
Then you've got you got Ben. He's IFR instrument, commercially certificated beast flying 182, cruising at 140. It'll take about $4,000 in gas, but you'll have a hell of a time. And then you got me, IFR capable plane.
And it has ashtrays.
Plane,
but not pilot.
But yeah, IFR capable plane, but not pilot. And the interior looks like your grandmother's kitchen. So,
why'd you put me on the spot like that? Yeah, am I in this scenario? Am I a pilot? Am I the instructor that I am? Am I bringing the same level of experience?
Great question.
I believe what you're saying is the answer is I'll take my TBM.
No, too bad for midlifers. TBM. No, so
perfect.
No, you are who you are in this scenario. You have all your skills and magic.
Okay. I've never been in a light sport, so that's cool.
Brian failed to mention, and it's been said in the chat, Brian, of the three of us, who has the most comfortable seats?
Your plane definitely has the most comfortable seats. Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
I mean, lazy boy level, just ridiculously comfortable seats.
So am I choosing the plane or the pilot here?
Yep.
Oh my God.
Wow.
One is the other.
Honestly, Ben, I love you. You're great. I've got some time in a 182, so probably my preference would be to do something different. So either
I respect that.
Or the Cherokee. The Cherokee doesn't have pitot heat that works, which is sketchy. So even though it's IFR capable, it's kind of questionable.
Look,
so
that's only an issue if you're going into freezing temps, which I should not be doing. I've been watching. Have you ever seen Aerosafe on YouTube?
No.
Erica Gilbert, she's always talking about And she sets everything perfectly in all the videos. She says, this is for piston pilots that are not equipped with, flying into known icing.
Yes.
You should not. Pitot heat is great, but you don't really need it. That's my contention. It's not required for the law unless it's commercial. But I'm just saying, okay, I can see how you would want to. If the temperatures are close, you probably want to have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, all right. So, but it's going to be perfect weather. There's not going to be any clouds anyway, right? It's just going to be perfect. We just spent an hour ahead of you getting here, Erica, with all of us, Mark, all of us. We've got 14 instances of windy open and ForeFlight and all this stuff. And we saw a lot of red and purple things, but we considered them invitations. Yeah.
Red means go. Yeah.
There's a lot of purple things, Erica. And so, which weather website do you recommend to control the weather?
I put my order in directly. I just pick up the phone.
There you go. She's got a direct line to it.
Yeah.
Well, I do want to get back on topic though. And I think one of the great things, if there are showers in the afternoon, that's going to be fine on Saturday because we're going to be recording a podcast at 4:00. And at Tech Arrow, 4 to 5 o'clock. And then we're going to go hang out and then go get some dinner. So it should be a lot of fun.
Yeah. And because I'm VFR and very safety minded because of my extensive viewing and understanding of weather that I've received through AeroSafe and Erica Gilbert Aviation, I am leaving a day early.
Yeah.
And that is how I am getting myself out of the whole pinch, or at least most of the pinch of the weather. And I'm going to pick up one of our community members in the Little Rock area. Me and Luke are going to head out from Nashville, go to Little Rock, get our buddy Keith, and then it's going to be basically go due south until you hit the ocean and hang a right. It's going to be something like that because I think that we're going to have to avoid a lot of storms. But
that's right. I was going to say, One Dull Geek and I are going to leave on Thursday, and we're just going to make a beeline for Tango 82 with maybe a stop in between. So, and we might be making a southern route, just like you guys are. So
we'll see how it shakes out. But
Ted's leaving in 15 minutes.
Exactly. Right. Ted's actually flying right now. This is the simulator he left behind.
Right. I was getting a lot of it's blue screens have come a long way. So and noise cancellation. Yeah. Imagine editing that the drone of a light sport plane as your podcast.
If you just turned your head and I saw a Bose logo, I would go, whoa.
Yeah, because I don't wear Bose. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Lightspeed. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
No, I did like the comment earlier that Bose sells tiaras, so that should be every CFI's accessory. I'm down with that. No,
I do have pink stickers on my Bose headset. So.
Oh, nice. I don't remember seeing that on yours. I know Alyssa has great ones on hers, and I always like those. Good, look good. But it's going to be 16 hours plus or minus for me to get there. And I am going to leave tomorrow afternoon. And I'm trying to solve this weather equation that involves the Rockies, things leading up to the Rockies and things on the other side of the Rockies. And I shared my plans with the hosts here and with a couple of my friends I have 3 routes that I might be taking on the main day of flying. And here are the considerations and, all that kind of stuff. So I am definitely motivated route-wise by having unleaded gas, but I'm not willing to make that, I'm not willing to die on that hill, literally. So, I have other plans in mind. But yeah, it's...
do you have a PLB?
I used to. I didn't renew it. I'm willing to go with my 406 megahertz flight following and iPhone satellite messaging. I have opinions about that, but yes.
I was just curious. And then also, will you be filing a flight plan?
I will not. I have very poor success with flight plans being useful. Yeah. But I will definitely be on flight following the whole way. At least Yeah, definitely the whole way.
Are there any areas where you won't have service, radio service?
I will have service for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And because it'll be high enough too. So I have oxygen's packed in the plane. Strangely, it's looking like the route over the Rockies is the calmest route. I don't know if that's going to hold for 2 days. But, you know, I've had the plane up to 13,000. I'm fine with that.
This is going to be your biggest trip, isn't it?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Oh, man, that's awesome. Because I mean, you've done some pretty major trips, but this is a big one.
I have. And I've done trips that have been 20 hours, but not 20 hours to get there. So, yeah. And I can't even plan past getting there. Like, as you saw my plans, the week following us being in Fredericksburg is just hazy. It's like, I probably headed to New Orleans, but I don't really know. And because I'm not going to plan past like Thursday.
Yeah. Ted's going to get there and he's going to say, hi. And he's going to get back to the plane and turn around and start going back home.
Well, this is, I know this is a little bit of shop talk, guys, but what are we doing Monday for the podcast?
Yeah.
It's probably the same thing we're doing for this podcast.
Should I just play the cricket soundtrack that just played?
Exactly. Oh, no. Monday is the recording from the live stream.
Oh, right. Because we're doing an episode at the place.
Yes.
And that's the audio release for Monday. Okay.
I like how you set that up. Like it was like,
I was wondering,
hey, audience, what are we, no, it's yeah, but the following Monday, I'm not sure about either, but
you might be on an airmail route somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, literally, I don't think many people have seen it, but one of my routes, the route that I'm most likely to take that doesn't go over the Rockies, but goes around them, is taking the airmail route, because the arrows are every 8 miles and it's roughly the same route that I would have taken without it. And it's like, if underpowered planes from 100 years ago could do this route, it's a pretty good route for me to take.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Ted, what kind of engine is in your LSA?
It's got the Rotax,
Okay.
100 horsepower. Yeah. Not turbo, fuel injected. So, so yeah, it does well up to, I mean, it certainly does well up to 10.
Yeah.
I've been up to 13 in it. That's pretty much the limit.
Yeah.
I know the carbureted version of it starts to really struggle at about 9,000 feet. And that's because it uses altitude compensating carburetors rather than having a mixture. So its job at controlling the mixture is poor. But with the fuel injection, it doesn't care, right? It's the same. So
Sure.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Will you send me your routes? And if you want me to look at it too, I know you said you've got other guys looking at it, but if you want to send me before you go, I can look at them with you too.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. So, we do have one community member who was in the Upper Peninsula, I believe, of Michigan, who is currently en route to Tango 82.
Yeah.
And he made a comment on the Discord server that I just had to smile when I saw this. He goes, "This is not going as planned, and it's awesome."
Yeah.
Which is basically every fly-in that we've ever had.
Yes.
It never goes as planned, but seems to work out better than the way we had planned it.
Just make fewer plans. Yeah. Yeah.
Or just
also you failed to mention that he's doing this trip in a tri-pacer.
That's true.
Yeah.
Which is
from
just
Michigan.
Awesome.
Yes.
That's I'm very jealous of that. Being able to just go where the wind takes you, basically.
Yeah.
So,
because you can't fight the wind.
Yeah. And Falcon Kurt asked how many miles and I think how many hours. And I plan at 100 knots per hour. And so the math is pretty easy. So it's about 1,800 miles and, 18 hours. So obviously the, tailwinds vary on that, headwinds vary, but that's just a nice rough number to plan with.
Wait, so when you're going back, what's the multiplier of the headwind going back on that over that long? It's going to take you 3 months to get back, Ted.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
It's going to take you 3 months to get back. You're going to come back and you're going to go to your apartment or your house and you're going to see like the power's been cut off.
It's going to be this dystopian society back at his house. It's like he's traveled in time.
Yeah. Cobwebs everywhere. Yeah.
I made it.
Have you guys seen that Netflix show Manifest?
No.
Manifesto, maybe? It's about this airplane that goes into this crazy storm.
Oh, I did see that.
Yeah.
That's been out for a while. Yeah, it is good.
Yeah. That's good.
Definitely good. So,
well, for those who are never going to see it, like, come on.
Yeah. Well, if you're talking about time traveling, this airliner goes into this really crazy storm, and then they land. And I think even ATC was like, who is this? Like, what is this?
Oh, okay.
They land and they somehow went like, I want to say it was like 10 years into the future or something.
It was actually 5 years. Yeah, it was 5 years in the future.
And everyone's like, what the heck happened? And all the stories that unfold as a result, very interesting.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, so is that what happens when you go into the purple?
That's exactly what happens when you go into another dimension.
Yeah.
One way or the other. Oh, man. Hey, Ben, we got a quick little review.
Yeah, let's hit it.
You hit it.
You want me to hit it? I'll hit it. I've got it pulled up. Okay. Yeah. This review comes to us, and please, for those of you out there listening, we'd appreciate it if you go onto Apple Podcasts and leave us a 5-star review. This comes to us from AK Flyer. Great podcast, 5 stars. It's part of my weekly ritual. Always relevant topics in which I learn, laugh, and love. So very nice.
Learn, laugh, love, laugh. Yeah, that's super. That's okay. That's when people leave reviews. It takes so much extra energy to do that out of your life. You're like, I'm going to leave a review for this podcast. I don't take any of these for granted at all. It's I
don't either.
It's so great. So thank you, AK Flyer. AK_Flyer.
AK Flyer is in my area. I think we've crossed paths. We've chatted, but I can't remember who it is. So yeah, thanks for leaving that. Yeah.
I really like what Luke said, that this is Ted's Oregon Trail.
Yes, I know. I like that too.
It's pretty popping up. You've died of dysentery.
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
No dysentery, please.
This is Oregon Trail with espressos.
Dysentery has no place in aviation.
or you have to you just have to at some point get 100 low lead, and it's like you have died of lead poisoning.
Exactly. Oh, you mean wall candy? Yeah.
And by the end of this, Ted will have a very rudimentary game. It will be the Oregon Trail of aviation. I'm sure he'll have something pulled out for that.
I love it.
Do we have any words of wisdom or last thoughts? Or Erica, do you have anything to say to the legions of wild maniac pilots that are flying from all over the United States to go to Tango 82 to hang out this weekend? Do you have any words of advice for them on their trips that you could maybe give us a couple minutes on?
Yeah, drink a beer for me since I won't be there.
But after they land.
After they land.
Yes.
Not ahead of time. Well, for the Patreon members, the patrons, we're doing a weather brief on the Discord. So the patron only weather brief. So we'll be able to talk a lot about the weather there for those who haven't already departed, and for those that have and are maybe, en route at a stop or something.
I can't thank you enough for doing that. I just can't. I was blown. That was like one of those moments where I'm just blown away at how great the community is, because the fact that it was just like, hey, well, everybody's going to be traveling, or a lot of people are going to be traveling. So why don't I offer to do a weather briefing in Discord for the people that are going to be going to this thing? And we can do it. The perfect timing would be Wednesday to do it. And it was one of those moments where I just go, wow, this is, I mean, I don't know. This is the kind of stuff that only a community can do. It's not a service. It's not I don't know. You get where I'm coming from.
Absolutely. And I'll say it was not my idea. I wish it had been my idea.
Oh, well, never mind. Okay.
Take it all back.
So someone else suggested it, and I'm happy to do it, more than happy.
Who made you do it?
I don't remember who suggested it, and I don't remember which.
Oh, wait. I see. It was somebody in the community, because somebody also had a really interesting post that directed at you about how they had an idea for an aviation weather channel.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was like, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Man. That would be really cool.
Now,
get some To run 24/7, there'd have to be a lot of content created, but it could be interesting.
Can I just do the music? I just want to make a bunch of vaporwave,
like stings going in and out.
Just a sort of echoey mall music.
Yeah.
Slowed down smooth jazz. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Good news. Our viewer count is in the double digits now. It's just like,
where, in 20 years, this will make people cry about their childhood. But right now it's just the weather.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so, that's a huge thing you're doing. It's a huge service. You are very much a contributor to the aviation community in every way. You have your classes that you're doing. You have the live streams that you started to do. You've got all the video content you've already made. You've got great social media. Instagram is cooking. You are just functioning on all channels, and then, getting your Cirrus work done and all the other things, teaching, making stuff happen. You are an inspiration.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah. I posted, it's been a while since I've been a student. Do you guys have any study tips for me going into learning a new airplane?
Oh, yeah. The shoes on the other foot, huh?
Yeah.
It's like Michael Scott says, like, my, how that table turns have tabled or whatever.
The turns are tabled, yes.
Keep an open mind. Don't let any preconceived notions get in the way.
That's a good one.
Well, it's definitely what we say to the people around here, which is we're all used to having success and excelling at what we do. You've got to be ready to just be stupid again and to not excel at it immediately, to suck, and that's okay. So, yeah.
Yep. To all of those coming to the fly-in, listen, we do this at least once a year. I don't want anybody to get their hiatus. I don't want anybody to put themselves in undue pressure. If you can't make it, that's fine. There'll be more to come in the future. It's so important for everybody to be safe out there. We want everybody to be arriving safe and sound, come out, hang out, and have a good time. So just please be careful out there.
I have an idea. Because there's already been some fantastic no-show, no-go announcements in Discord for various reasons.
Yeah.
And some of them are really profound decisions, right? Understanding that there's all this event kind of pressure, whatever. We should have, when we're there on Saturday, we should have, we should keep track of that when we go through our Discord, right? To talk about what's happening in the community. Can we please just pull out all of those and sort of have like a hall of fame for no-go decisions that
I think we need to send them merch if they can do. We need to do something a little bit more.
I'm just saying, okay, we can do that too.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Why don't you go pick them up, Ben?
It's not out of the realm of possibility. I'll just say that.
You hear the gears turning there. It's like he was trying to figure out how he could do it.
I mean, isn't that my sole purpose for being on this podcast? Is being, what did you refer to it as earlier? As Marcus as the Zamboni brothers?
Yeah,
cleaning things up.
Erica, that's what I was telling. I was like, I'm going out ahead of you guys a day early, and then you guys are coming a day after, and you're basically like the Zambonis
cleaning the ice.
I'm just going to fly your track a day ahead of you, and then you can just look for me.
Yeah.
So
I do love the idea of recognizing the no-go decisions.
Yeah.
I think that's great.
To be celebrated.
That's something that the Pleiades talked about, which is celebrating people who choose not to land at a backcountry airport just because everybody else landed there. It's so great that you chose not to. Yeah. It's not a requirement that you do. And let's focus on the safety in that way.
I tell you what, that's a good one. What I was going to say is, if you decide that you can't make it, then Brian is going to fly to your home base airport and do a no-go dramatic reading for you.
Or I'll land and go, well, I can't add any more weight, but I just wanted to say hi.
Hi.
Just commiserate. Yeah.
Thanks for not going.
Yeah. It'd be even funnier if you got there and then did a go around.
Oh.
Or you got stuck there. Either way.
Stuck would be better, actually.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I think we should probably wrap up. Anything else you guys want to add? before we close this puppy out?
I'm just excited to see everybody get pumped. It's going to be an awesome time. But if you can't come, it's okay. We'll do it again. We'll come to your town and do it.
That's right. Erica, we appreciate you joining us tonight. It's always great to see you.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Y'all check out her airspace, her website, gilbertaviation.com.
Yeah, website's gilbertaviation.com and the YouTube channel is Aerosafe by Gilbert Aviation.
There we go.
In the show notes.
In the show notes.
Yeah. And for the patrons, don't forget to come to the Wednesday
night
weather briefing.
Even if you're not coming.
Even if you're not coming. Yeah.
You'll learn something. I always do with Erica, that's for sure. All right. Tonight's bit of wisdom is especially for my friend Brian. He knows this now all too well. Patience is the art of pretending you're not annoyed yet. Signing off.
So true.
Episode 126 of the Midlife Pilot Podcast. Thank you to everybody in the chat. Y'all have a good night. Take care.